Hi YouTube. I haven't made a video in a really long time, and I don't really think I'm going to be making a ton of content because I don't know, I don't feel like anything going on in my life is like YouTube worthy. So I think the last video that I made was about Clomid and our infertility, secondary infertility struggle. Also, I'm sorry if you hear the dishwasher in the background, but yeah, and a lot has actually happened since that video. So I actually privated that video and I'm probably gonna unprivate it just because I don't know. I just was randomly in a funk one day and I was like, just the struggle of infertility can sometimes just weigh on you, and I don't know. I just didn't want it to be out there, I guess. But within this journey that I'm going through, I've realized that I really need support and kind of like having a sense of community. And I mean, most of the time I watch YouTube videos about people in similar similar boats. So just to kind of catch you up on me. So yeah, Clomid didn't work. I didn't ovulate. That was back in like July, I want to say, and it's now November 3rd. The end of July or August. I think it was August actually, because I do remember being on the beach when I got the call from the my gyno's office, basically saying that I had no other options, which sounds absurd, but they only do Clomid there. So like they would, because I think I mentioned to the woman, that the nurse, whoever called me, I asked if we could try letrozole because I know that some people just do better on letrozole, but she was like, no, we only do Clomid. And I was like, okay. So I took it upon myself to call a fertility specialist, or the fertility clinic. I explained to them, at this point, it was definitely August because my first appointment at the fertility clinic was September 8th. So I called in August and I said that I've only ovulated once since February, when I've really been tracking. I've gotten my period twice, but I've only like gotten an actual positive OPK one time from February until September. At that point. So they were like, absolutely, come in. I spoke with the doctor. He wanted to do a whole list of testing before starting any kind of like treatment plan. So like I said, it's November 3rd. So for the past 2 months, hold on, Jeffy. Okay. So for the past 2 months, we have been going through testing. That includes a lot of blood work. Stop. Shh. I had the HSG procedure done, which is the dye test. That came back fine. Kyle had, oh my God, I'm so sorry. He's so annoying. Kyle had the sperm analysis done, which came back normal. There was like one thing that they were like iffy about, the motility or not motility, whatever is the shape of the sperm, I think they just said it was just not perfect. So he's been taking a multivitamin. They said, Jeff, honestly, they said that a multivitamin and like some like lifestyle changes can help. He doesn't smoke, and I mean, he's a pretty active person, but he does drink beer. I don't know. Whatever. So that was all he had to do, and blood work. We had genetic testing done as well, and that was all fine. My HSG was fine. I was terrified for my HSG, terrified. About like the anxiety of just like not knowing like what it was gonna feel like. I'm pretty good with pain. I have a 2-year-old daughter, and I didn't go to the hospital when I was in labor with her until I was over 7 centimeters. Or not the hospital, the doctor. Like, I was like, I don't know if this is it or not. And they had me come in, they checked me, and they were like, yeah, you're 7 centimeters. Like, you better get to the hospital if you want an epidural. So yeah, so I'm pretty like good with pain, but I think with the HSG, I was more nervous about just not knowing what it was gonna feel like. So that was fine. It came back good, which was kind of frustrating because it's like you almost like want something to be wrong when you're getting all these tests done, because then that way, like, you know, you'll know that there's an issue and this is how we're gonna fix it. So that was that. And once the doctor had like all of our testings, the Kyle's sperm analysis, the HSG, our like genetic workup, basically he called, we had a virtual like call to go over like what kind of treatment plan. It was basically between two things. The first plan would have been letrozole with timed intercourse, since it seems that my issue is ovulating. And then the second option would just be doing an IUI, and doing the letrozole trigger shot and an IUI, which is what we're doing. So I'm currently on cycle day. Let me see. I'm currently on cycle day 13, and I went in yesterday. Today's Tuesday. I went in yesterday for blood work and an ultrasound. And my follicles are growing, but they're not there yet. One is at a 12 and one is at an 11. I forgot to mention too that last month, last month, I actually did ovulate on my own, and because I went in for blood work, and one day, I think it was supposed to be like my baseline, like blood work and ultrasound, and I had taken Provera the week before to jumpstart my period, when lo and behold, like the second day I was taking Provera, I must have ovulated, which I was still tracking with OPKs, so I like was taking Provera to start my period, and I'm like taking my ovulation test, and I was like, oh my god, this is positive, like freaking out kind of. I emailed my like nurse practitioner, like the one that like I am in contact with for the most part at the fertility clinic, and I told her like I have a positive OPK, and she was basically like, it's probably your period coming, you know, whatever. And then sorry, I am still at working technically, but I let her know that I had a positive OPK. She said it was probably my period, but we still did the deed anyway. So we just to cover our bases, my period didn't come, and then that's when I went in for blood work, and then she calls me and she's like, oh, you actually did ovulate. And I was like, well, I kind of knew that. Good thing we had sex. So I was like, wow, okay, I'm on in a 2-week wait. I was very obviously not hopeful because I took Provera to start my period, and I'm like, that can't be good for trying to get like ovulating and trying to get pregnant. So that was that. It was kind of, I was kind of like not upset, but I just have had so little 2-week waits that I was like, at least I'm in a 2-week wait, because I at least like can like just stop for a second and just wait until this date and test. I ended up testing at like 8 or 9 DPO, I forget, and I used like a cheap test, and I actually saw like the faintest line, but it actually ended up being an evaporation line, because it was definitely like out of the time. I was just kind of hoping that like that was real, but it wasn't. Ended up getting my real period, and now here we are. So yeah, so back to what's going on now. Today is Tuesday, so I go back on Thursday. So when I went in Monday, one on my left ovary was at a 12 millimeter, and the one on my right was at 11 millimeters. And obviously they don't want to trigger until you get to like 20 millimeters. So right now I'm just waiting to go back on Thursday and I'm really hopeful that they are growing, and I would be so excited if they were the right size to trigger. I have the trigger shot in the fridge just hanging out. I would be so excited if they were big enough, because especially because ovulating is my issue. Just to like, I just, we had a healthy pregnancy in 2017, gave birth in 2018. You know, I had my daughter September 2018, so I know that we actually had gotten pregnant before that as well. That ended in miscarriage, but I'm like, I know I can get pregnant. I just think that because I'm not ovulating regularly, it's obviously lessens our chances greatly. So I'm very hopeful, and I do want to document my journey in some sense. So, I mean, if putting it out there for the very few people that I know are going to watch this, if it helps in any way, that would be awesome. So yeah, I'll probably do an update after Thursday and just let everyone know like where I'm at. But yeah, that's basically that. That's my update. Bye.